All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show, and thanks to Claudette Arcades as well for sending us to Philly. Big thanks to Claudette. Great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you, and check out Pig and a Pickle as well. Emeryville, Corte Madera, and soon to open in Petaluma in 2026. 49ers came to Philly, and they beat the Eagles. How about that? 23-19, outscoring the Eagles 13-3 in the fourth quarter on the road to get the win. 49ers advance to play Seattle in Seattle, and the Eagles are going home. Brock Purdy, 18 of 31 for 262 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He had 2 picks. But CMC had a good day. And, 15 carries for 48 yards, but he also caught 6 balls for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. Demarcus Robinson had a bust-out day, 6 catches for 111 yards and a touchdown. He got the Niners going early. What can you say? 49ers really played well in this game and got the win on the road, and it's a big, big win for the 49ers. So great win for the Niners. Overall, you got to feel pretty good about the 49ers defense. Garrett Wallow, 11 tackles. Eric Kendricks, 10 tackles. These guys combined for 21 tackles, 12 solo. Couple TFLs. Great win for the Niners. Let's hear from Shanahan. He talked a little bit about, well, first of all, I asked Kyle Shanahan about what he was most pleased about with this win. Here's what he had to say.
Go ahead.
It's really hard to win on the road in this league in the playoffs. What are you most proud of with the victory tonight?
So many things. I'm just proud of the guys, how hard they battled. I was just kind of staying in there. Having 2 linebackers who weren't on our team a month ago, and those guys playing that whole game and playing at a high level was so impressive. Having 2 turnovers and them having none and be able to still find a way to win that, I thought was huge. Losing Kittle early in the game just was obviously a depressing play for everybody when you see that. And guys stepped it up and still made plays and competed. And to find a way to win that game, we thought it would be a grimy game, is how we say it. It was. Our defense allowed it to be that way. And then, that last drive, some of the plays Juice made on it, I thought were so big. Brock had a couple mistakes, obviously, with his 2 picks and stuff, but to come back on that last drive, get us in the end zone, lead us all the way down there, get to like a 3rd guy in his progression on the touchdown. Real proud of the guys. Go ahead.
All right, great stuff there from Shanahan. Let's hear about Shanahan discussing the resiliency of his football team.
Coach, what does a win like this say about the team's resilience and belief in each other?
I think it shows how they've been all year. They've been resilient all year. They've overcome a lot. They believe in each other a ton, and we knew we couldn't come in here and just win by certain guys making plays. We knew we had to come in here and win as a complete team, and I really believe we played as a complete team today, and that's why we got it done.
Yeah, there's no question about that. The 49ers played as a team, and, they needed all 3 phases to get this done. And there's a lot of fight in that room. The bottom line is, there was no doom and gloom in the Niner locker room. The vibe around the team during the week was very uplifting. There was a lot of energy. There's a lot of tough guys in that room, and they're not afraid to fight. And they fought tonight, man. They really fought. And CMC talked about how his team kept fighting in the postgame.
I don't know if they're different. I do know that this team fights, man. I think this team's never out of the fight. We can have a lot of stuff happen to us throughout the year. Some unfortunate things happen to us, but we don't blink, and I think we're consistent every day. It's something that when you're on a good team and a high character team, they're the same people every single day. We might mess up, might make mistakes, some bad plays here or there, but we don't blink and keep fighting for each other.
There you go. Christian McCaffrey in the locker room afterwards. Let's hear Brock Purdy talk a little bit about that. The reverse pass, JJ threw the ball to CMC for a touchdown. Incredible play. Here's Brock's perspective on it.
I was on the edge, sort of blocking, sort of not in the play. And then I look back, I see JJ get hit, and I was like, dang, dude, should I have done something about that? And then I look up, and the ball's in the air, and Christian tracked it. It was wobbling in the wind, and the fact that Christian caught it over his shoulder, dude, I was like, oh, my gosh. And I looked back to JJ, and I was like, you all right? And then celebrated. So it was a really cool play. He's a baller when it comes to that. He did the same thing in the Super Bowl, took a hit, threw it to Christian on a trick play for a touchdown. So those two are pretty cool to watch. Yeah, obviously, if it's there, sweet, let's capitalize. But also, telling JJ to, hey, dude, if it's not there, you can throw it away. Let's be smart. It's 1st and 10. We have 2 more downs after this. So it was one of those things. If the op's there, great. If not, let's live to see another down. Like, we just came off, I forgot if the quarter, if it was the quarter. So we flipped sides of the field. We had time to talk in the huddle and everything. And Kyle's just going through all the reminders and stuff. And I'm sitting there like telling JJ everything to be smart, but and he knew it. He's been in these kind of situations before, and he's got that chill, demeanor, and he knew if we had to look, he's going to be aggressive. If not, he's going to be smart.
Yeah, that was a bang play, man. He did not have a lot of time to throw that pass, and he put it up in the air. But credit CMC, was a competitive son of a gun, man. The one thing about CMC, he looks, smiley face guy. He is a competitor, and with that ball in the air, man, there's nobody I'd rather have out there going for that pass than CMC, because he wants to win badly. If there's one thing that I've learned about this team this year, it's Christian McCaffrey wants to win badly. He's very, very urgent about winning. And, man, that was a great catch. Let's hear about Trent Williams. Trent Williams has got a hamstring problem. He's not 100%, but he talked about putting his body on the line and playing hurt.
It meant a lot. It was a lot of, I wouldn't say mental gymnastics, but it did have a big effect on me, because I didn't know how long my leg would hold up. I knew that I was coming back early, and I knew that there was a huge chance of a reoccurrence. So to me, just trying to block that out and just go until I can't no more. So yeah, after we won the game was a sign of relief, and just super proud of the team.
There's no replicating what Trent Williams brings to the table. He is Hall of Famer. He's one of a kind, and he gutted it out. Hopefully he can stay healthy the rest of the way. CMC talked about losing Kittle because, man, that was traumatic. And you lose a guy that's like one of the leaders of the team, and he gets carted off, and you guys know it's a career-altering type injury. I mean, here's what CMC, who's a good friend of Kittle, had to say about it.
This team has carried the character of George Kittle throughout the entire year. And since I got traded here, he's the heart and soul of this team. And so it's a tough loss, man. When he's not playing, it means a lot. But he's somebody that, even going through something that he had to go through and us finding a way to finish, he's the first guy in the locker room smiling, bumping music, happy for his teammates. And when you lose a leader like that, you never really lose him, because his presence is still in this locker room. His energy is still here. And he's the leader and heart and soul of this team. And so we're praying for him, love him, and going to play for him the rest of the way.
Man, it's a tough loss. It's a great win, tough loss for sure. And let's hear Christian talk a little bit about the amazing catch that he made on the pass from Juwan Jennings. This is also one of the best plays of the game, one of the best plays of the year.
Just executing, man. I know we had some time to think about it, and Juwan threw a great ball, and it worked out great. It was a great time to call that play too, so it was awesome. Oh man, Juwan ripped it. That was in the air. Felt like for like 15 seconds, but no, it was again just a great play call, well executed. It's a good momentum play too.
McCaffrey, he's got it. Guys like CMC and Purdy, they're the headliners. Kittle, but you know what? Garrett Wallow, not so much. Eric Kendricks, not so much. These guys were linebackers signed off the street. And these guys stepped up, and CMC talked about the injuries in that linebacker room and what that thing has been like.
Christian, you had linebackers on this team that weren't on this team a month ago. How impressed are you that these guys in a big moment on the road stepped up huge today?
Yeah, I mean, that stuff like that is unbelievable. I think it's a testament to the room, the coaching, the system, to be able to come in here not even a month ago and not just play, but play well is a huge deal. So proud of those guys, and respect the hell out of the fact that they came in here and made a lot of plays.
Yeah, Niners have some great coaches, but I don't know that any of them is better than Johnny Holland. Johnny Holland was a great player at A&M. He's a great teacher. He's a really good coach. I don't think it's accidental that the Niners have had a lot of different guys playing pretty good ball at linebacker, despite the room getting depleted. So that was CMC on the linebacking core. Let's hear from D-Rob. Demarcus Robinson is a big-time player. He scored 7 touchdowns last year. He barely plays on this team. On certain spots, they're super thin, And other spots, they're super deep. And one of them is wide receiver, and D-Rob proved that today.
Demarcus, you have not had a game like this with the Niners. How nice is it to have a game like this in the playoffs?
I felt good. We needed some guys to step up. I was one of those guys tonight. I felt great. Like I said, it felt good that the no coach had trusted me. Throughout the week, we practiced a lot of those plays, so Purdy did too. So it felt good to go out and make some plays.
Yeah, that guy's an underrated player. This guy scored 7 touchdowns last year. He's just like a bit player here, but they need him now, and he's playing ball. Let's hear from Eric Kendricks, because Kendricks, I think, is inspiring. I mean, this guy is had a hell of a career, and yet he is stepping up this year and playing great ball. He told me a couple weeks ago in the locker room, he's like, man, this is where I wanted to be, man. I was waiting for this opportunity, and he really loves it here. He's fitting in well. He was communicating huge today. Here's Eric Kendricks on how this playoff run for the Niners is incredibly unlikely.
Eric, what does a win like this do for the defense and the belief in yourselves and your unit moving forward?
Yeah, I don't feel like we were lacking in any confidence, you know what I mean, at all. But it gets us to the next round. You know what I mean? It's a blessing. I was out there just thinking about how many times I played in Philly and how many times I've been in the playoffs, and just it's not easy to come by. So I don't want to take that for granted. We're in the next round. This win was sweet. I'm going to enjoy it for the next couple of hours, but we want to go further. We want to do more.
One of the most unlikely playoff teams you've been on.
I would say it's unlikely because I was not on a team for so long, so a little bit unlikely. But from the outside looking in, I think it may look super unlikely. But being in the building for the last month and some change now, it's not a question by me of why we're in the situation we're in. You know what I mean? I believe in this team.
All right, thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
I do as well. And they live to fight another day. We'll get on a bird tomorrow. We'll go back to SF. Quick turnaround. Niners in Seattle on Saturday. Winner goes to the NFC Championship game. The loser goes home. It's going to be incredible. Seattle took them apart a couple weeks ago, but only scored 13 in the process. Can the Niners offense get cooking? Can they put up 20? If they can, they might be able to beat Seattle in Seattle. It's going to be fun. We're hopefully going to be there. By the way, if you want to sponsor the Krug Show's trip to Seattle, let us know. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show all year. We've had a great time covering the Niners. We've had a great time on this trip to Philly. And we're going to celebrate this one just like the Niners are. And then we're going to get back and start focusing on Seattle. Should be a phenomenal week of action this week, talking about this game. The build-up is always good. Thanks to Kev. Thanks to everybody who supports the Krug Show. And that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Clawdaddy Arcades for sending us to Philly. Great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for sponsoring us and being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. And thanks to you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.